we're just down to 2 bolts, one on each side. Let's get it out. Here we are, got her out. So yeah, it's real easy. We'll just take everything out, clean it. Check this out. Look at that. And this is the reason I wanted to take off the bell. Look at it sitting soaking in a sink. Alrighty, so we gotta have a little chat about pilot bearings here. Well, particularly my situation I got myself into. So, as you can see, everything is all nice and clean. I went ahead and kind of cleaned up the flywheel a little bit. Still maybe another spark, so I gotta get fixed up. But really, pilot bearing. Okay, so, remember the old pilot bearing that came out? Look at this guy. Look how loosey-goosey that is. That's not cool. It was never really in. If you look at this guy, alright, so you see how it kind of mushroomed up like that? That's when I hit it. You see how it made it bigger? So it looked like it was in, but it wasn't. And if you notice on this other side, that little bit of where it got smashed inward, right? That's where it's supposed to actually grab. In there. You see that little bit of a lip right there? It actually goes in much deeper. That's where the pilot bearing lives, right back there. So when this was in, you can see how much it was actually in. It was only in that much, just a little bit. So what I did was, when I upgraded and got the AX15, I was told I had to get a brass bearing from like a 73 or 74 CJ Jeep, and it would fit. And it actually does. You know, it actually will work perfect if it has a little bit of a grab there. So just make sure it's nice and clean and it goes in. And by the way, if you want some part numbers, that's what I got. And oh yeah, here's a data sheet too. Inner and outer. Alright, this is kind of what I got set up right now. Got it on the drill, and I can turn it pretty steady. I just want to match it up to this guy here. And it's so close. It's like right there. I don't know if you see that, how close that is. But if you just spin it, I've got just a little bit of sandpaper. Just kind of, just help guide it down. You know, nothing too crazy, it's just 100 grit. Just to go a little at a time. Make it nice and smooth so it will grab. And there you have it. We got it in there. And look, there's actually a lip that we went past. So it went even farther in than the other one, which is what it's supposed to do. Alright, for those of you who don't know how to put in a clutch, it's actually pretty easy. You just put this little insert, this alignment tool in, and it holds it for you right up to the flywheel, and that's pretty much it. It just holds right there. Now keep in mind, you're not bolted in or anything, but you do have these 6 bolts you got to go and put all in. But that's where the cover plate comes in. So that thing, remember, it's pretty heavy. And then once all that's in, you just pour your key out. All right, get your bolts in there just to hang on to it, and grab yourself some medium Loctite and the rest of your bolts, and then you can really put them in. Alright, got you all 6 bolts in, clutch is in, removed your low key, everything's still lined up perfect. Okay, let's go get the transmission in. Real quick, I just thought I'd show you the, I guess the old one. It's actually made out of plastic. The whole casing is plastic here. And that's why it disintegrated. The new one is cast. I think we'll have a little bit better time with this guy. Alright, so I went ahead and decided to go with this copper color for the bell housing. I've seen it already. Nice and clean on the inside. Got our brand new parts all in, and you can see the slave cylinder sit here and kind of push it. That's pretty much how it works. Just that's really it. That's about all the moving it's going to be doing. Just don't forget your little clip over here. Last time I did this job, I put everything together and I was like, hey, what's that clip go to? It's kind of important. Keeps it right there. If it comes out, then you got problems. Just don't forget it. All right, here we are, just about to put in the slave cylinder, master, and the hose. It's a pre-bled all-in-one unit. With mine, though, mine is a little bit of an upgrade, so I'm not actually supposed to have this. Mine is all set for the internal, but this fits just fine, with one slight modification. The little eyelid or hole here for the actual pedal itself, for the clutch pedal, mine is a little bit bigger than this. If you got like a 94, 95 and up Jeep, this will fit perfect. You don't have to do any modifications, but mine's an 89. So mine, I guess, had a tougher stub or whatever it's called. So mine is a little bit bigger. It's not much. It's just the very next size, which is, what is that? It's like a 7/16. Yep. So the very next size, we'll just go to that 7/16, clean it up, and it's just plastic. So just go real slow, don't crack it or anything. Keep it centered, and then it'll snap right in. We'll just drop it in place. All right, I went just a little bit extra. If you see just a little bit of a rim there. Yeah. Yeah, right there. Now also, you may notice these white tabs over here. They're to help you help hold the shaft in place for installation. Now you might be tempted to cut them or take them off or pull them up. Just leave them alone. It will automatically snap. The very first time you push this, you know, the fluid goes around, it'll go right out and it'll snap. You remember the force, you know, that was behind this guy. So, I mean, that's a lot of pushing force. Okay, don't worry about a couple little plastic zip ties. They'll come right off. I was actually lucky enough with the transmission out to drop down the slave cylinder, run the hose over, and boom, we got the master in. And there's one nut and one stud. The stud goes through the wall on the top one there, and the nut is down below. And I can't really see it, but there it is. It's the same thing on the inside. Right. Underneath. Run up there. Oh, there it is. See, here's the stud. Oh, okay. It's right there. One bolt on each, and then here's our plastic thing we just drilled out. It'll connect right into the, there it is. Real close. Alright, so the sun, so it looks like the sun is kind of going down, but let's try to get this guy up there before it does. That's all ready to go. Oh, actually one thing, don't forget, some spline lubricant. Go all over there. Alright, pretty much the name of the game is get the two side bolts in. That bolt and that bolt. So you can see where it is. All you gotta do is man the jack, push her in if you need, left, right, line up the holes, and up we go. Alright. Alright, go ahead and put all this together. Make sure you get that plate in first. And what you do is it hangs in there, just barely, with this alignment pin, whatever, that eventually connect into here and help align this up. There's another one on the other side. Put them pins in the block to hold that up, and then you could play the transmission. Alright, so last night I was actually able to put in the transmission, and that's it. Got the bolts in. Alright, got me a pile of parts to install. We got our mount and the bolts ready to go. I like to put in the CPS, crankshaft position sensor, while, you know, before the mount and all that, because I could tilt the transmission down a little bit and then put this guy in there. So it's still good, but you know, I'm gonna take all this off. I'm gonna try to do something else. Alright, clean parts are happy parts. Got me a handful here. We got ourselves my bracket and the transmission mounts ready to go. Maybe one of these days I'll get shorter bolts, but that's ready, clean, painted, good to go. Got the bolts there. The crossmember is outside. I was cleaning it off, getting a bunch of grease off it. Starter, of course, that's ready to go. That's all cleaned up too. Just finished up getting a bunch of grease off. This guy is going to be a little bit of an upgrade. My CPS, crankshaft position sensor. I actually originally had some plastic covering for it. So, you know, because I wanted to give it like a heat shield, but it melted. So this time around, I'm actually doing the insulation, the foil insulation stuff. Worked out really well, actually. It kind of stiffened up the lines, so now, you know, when it mounts up, it'll be bent perfect. So hopefully that works great. I did run the test, you know, put the ohm meter on it. I think it's supposed to be like between 175 and 225 or something, and mine was right there in the middle, so it was perfect. I measured it before and after I put all this on, just in case the metal like disrupts it or something, but nothing's touching. But just for a reference, this guy is a Siemens, however you say that. I actually had it for, say 6-7 years, maybe, and look, it's still perfect. It's still nice and new and clean. So we've got this guy to go on. Got to put the starter on, mount. There's a crossbar outside. I've been hiding a couple of drive shafts under my desk, so those got to get plugged in. Also, there is an exhaust tube out there, you know, the downpipe from the exhaust manifold. I think we're almost there. Let's put it all together. All right, went ahead and got the slave cylinder finally set up and installed here. And one stud, one bolt. In my case, both of them were 1/2 inch. Okay, we got the crankshaft position sensor going in. This is where you find out how many extensions you really have in your toolbox. Right now I've got 1, 2, I got 3, but I got this rough edge here so I can kind of grip it. Of course I got a couple extra more. You can get a little elbow thingy if you need more space, but okay, working on our mount now. These 4 guys in there, nice and tight. So you got our mount set up here, nice and tightened in. We got our crossbar. Let's see, speedometer cable. That was the easy one. It's right here. Also, this is your vacuum switch for the 231 that I've got. AMC. This one is a, I think it's for like a light bulb under the dash. Here we go. Yeah, here it is. Just so your dash knows what gear you're in, I guess. Okay, plug this guy in. Look for the notches. You might have noticed there's quite a few different holes to choose from here. When you look at, you know, putting your mount in, you know, it's got the 4 holes. There's different holes everywhere. Easy way of letting you know. Also the crossbar, see how it has this indent here? That goes towards the back. It's, I guess, where the exhaust hanger or something is supposed to be. It's only right there though. So if you look on the other side, it's just flat. But back to these holes here. Mine was already marked when I tore it all down, so I knew how to put it back together. But if you don't know, when you put it all together, just back up a little bit here and look up. You just got to keep your drive shaft in the middle. So as long as it's right there in the middle, you're good. If you bolt everything all up, and for whatever reason you went on the other holes over there, your drive shaft to be out close to this side, it's not going to work, okay? It's got to be in the middle. So when you, of course, when you plug in drive shaft, it goes right down there. You don't want it to be all like kicked sideways, because then you're gonna burn out your U-joints. Yeah, bad things happen. So make sure you're in the middle, front and center. All right, got Ultima Select 35151. Believe this came from O'Reilly's with the lifetime guarantee, warranty, whatever you call it. If it breaks down, you get a free one, or you know, just bring it in. Let's see, some sizes here we gotta look at. Okay, this guy goes in this way, bolts into the block. This guy is a 14. Yep, 14. Next up, this one, the other mounting from the other direction, also a 14. All right, perfect. So the same size for the mounts. Now when you go over here to solenoid, hook up your main battery, this guy is going to be a 13. or half. Little guy, the little remote, the switch here, is going to be, what is that, a 5/16. So there you have it, 5/16, 13, and a 14 for the other. And there it is. Got the starter all in, all your electrical connections, got that bolt in there, got the other mount on. For these guys, just remember that most of this is plastic, okay? So you want these to be tight, but you don't want to bust anything. Mine's getting a little loose. It still works, but and also don't put these guys like touching or contacting. Big power from the directly red battery, from the red terminal, positive, and then this is just your little signal switch to get it to turn on. It's grounded by the by your bolts. So make sure all your bolts are nice and clean when they go in, because that's how it gets its ground there. All right, yesterday I went ahead and got this all kind of primed up, ready to go. Nice coat of paint makes everything look new again. Then it started raining, so it's a little bit wet, but it's ready to go. All we gotta do is throw it in. All right. Okay, how's your day going? Oh, it's pretty good. You know, just a few extensions down there. We're okay. If you're wondering how to put the shaft back in there, it's pretty easy. It's got this kind of a shape on both sides, so it doesn't really matter which way it goes in, but there's two little pins, so when it goes down, you just got to push that in, because it's got a spring, and then just click it into place, and it'll be locked in. And there's your pins. And there we have it.